Hello, everybody. FAI here, or I here, and welcome back to another Accureye Talks video. And in today's Accureye Talks video, I thought we'd talk about all the different characters and the compositions for each team and how to become better and maybe find your playstyle based on, what kind of composition or playstyle you are. Now, there are many different team types and compositions, but to make it simple for everyone, you just gotta think of it as a dive composition, a brawler composition, or a poke composition. Now, poke compositions consist of people who can create natural cover, as well as just kind of create areas where they can poke and do a lot of damage and ton of damage. Brawler types, on the other hand, like Lifeline here, are good at creating damage and being behind natural cover all the time, as well as they can kind of keep themselves stationary. And dive comps are kind of those who are based around mobility and like having good mobility, if not great mobility on the game. And when it comes down to just overall, keeping mobile, keeping advantage, whether it's high ground, low ground, whether it's far away, close, rushing in for finishing them off really quickly, it doesn't matter. Each comp is different, and I mean, also there's also the aggressive playstyle and the passive playstyle. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to only be talking about like the main compositions of dive, brawler, or of course, poke. And as you can see, looking at Lifeline's abilities, she's a very brawler type character because she can stay stationary and heal and keep alive. As you can see with her Doc Heal drone, her combat mech experience. Whereas someone like Life or Ray is a very dive comp because she can hear voices from the void, as well as she can tactically move faster and reposition herself. Especially with her ultimate. Her ultimate allows her to move much faster and move into a bigger position than she can as well. And then like someone like Bangalore has her smoke launcher, which means that she can create natural cover, and whenever she is spotted or under fire, she can move at double time. This means that she'll be able to move within natural cover if she needs to. And then of course her ultimate allows her to have some natural cover from being flanked all the time. But of course, in the end, it's up to you to determine what playstyle is yours. I'm going to try to show off each playstyle at least to the best of my ability without having bad RNG or anything like that. And we're going to start with the poke style composition, or the poke type players, because I feel that the poke type players are kind of the composition that would be fairly easy to control and fairly easy to play around with, versus someone who is a brawler or dive comp, because again, brawler and dive comp positions are usually a little bit more based around natural cover and trying to stay alive while being stationary without, either by being aggressive and moving from cover to cover, or staying in one position while trying to pick off somebody that is trying to get aggressive off them. And I mean, again, that is up to you, and it's built around how you decide you want to play. Because not everyone is going to be, that brawler composition. Not everyone is going to be a dive composition. Not everyone's going to be a poke composition. I mean, me in general, I'm more of a dive comp because I like having the mobility. I like being able to be mobile and move around as quickly as I can. I'm not a big fan of being like the person that is stationary. I personally do not like being stationary for too long because, I find that stationary is just kind of it's kind of just like it's so slow on gameplay, and I want to, get into the battle, or I don't want to have to move from cover to cover. I'd rather, kind of be seen for a second, maybe start firing at somebody, and then all of a sudden running to another area where I have advantage. But anyway, here we are, we getting started as a stationary character. And of course, getting started, with our, stuff like Apex Legends, it's very RNG heavy, so you never know if you're going to be like lucky and having a good composition where you just start off with great items, great abilities, great stuff. Or if you're going to just be like, oh boy, that was bad start. So, but remember that someone like who's a stationary, a brawl, or a poke comp like Bangalore here, you definitely want to utilize that poke composition and utilize her natural cover and some of her natural abilities to stay within, cover, or even just within like certain certain little points, because again, that's what makes Bangalore somewhat useful. Now, this is not my greatest showcasing of being a poke comp player, but you kind of get the idea that I was trying to utilize her abilities and create natural cover to a degree, for people to be surprised on, because like you'll see it here where I'm kind of looking around looking for items while my teammates spot a enemy, and then they all of a sudden are like, hey, over here. They ping somebody over there. So I'm watching the area, kind of trying to get a good idea. And there you see right there, I was trying to create some natural cover just to or some cover just to kind of create confusion for that person that was chasing. And then here I get a good easy knock, and then of course I get a good easy crack there for that person. So, you can see how the composition kind of works and how things are kind of built around. You want to make sure that you are, to some degree, able to understandably, create some kind of natural cover. Now, here's where, like, a poke comp kind of comes into play, and you saw it there where, as a poke comp, I was basically trying to back off the area and get into some natural cover, because I, for some reason, didn't create cover there. And that's one of those times where I probably should have created some cover. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about creating cover, but you get the idea, and you understandably kind of hopefully get the point that I was making across here, where it's good to make sure that you have some some form of cover nearby, especially if you're going to be a poke comp, because again, while you can create, as a poke comp, you can create some cover for yourself, but again, it's going to be built around you deciding, like, okay, how close am I also to natural cover in case there's something where I have to back off and, and go into natural cover just for the, just so that someone can't get an easy shot off me. And that's something that, many players need to keep in mind when they are playing any composition, whether it's dive, poke, or brawler. Just remember that as a brawler, you're more built around trying to use natural cover all the time and utilizing that natural cover versus someone like a poke or a dive comp who's not going to be utilizing the composition all the time, and instead is going to be trying to utilize their mobility to either move from cover to cover and keep themselves in a motion, or of course in some cases just as the dive comp, you want to make yourself a mobile target, a hard target to hit. You don't want to be too stationary, because if you're too stationary, especially as a dive comp player, you're probably going to end up with yourself being picked off very, very easily. So, it's something to think about, especially as you discover what it works for you. But in this case, I just wanted to showcase a little bit of the dive comp and give you, or a little bit of the poke comp and give you a little bit of an idea. Other things that you'll want to consider, especially when you are playing a brawler comp, is utilize the cover. Just be natural cover all the time if you can help it. And, don't try to get yourself out in the open, because if you're not near natural cover and you get into a fight and you're not near natural cover, it's going to be harder for you to get out of it because you don't have a lot of mobility. Remember that you don't have a lot of mobility. As a poke comp, you'll have a little bit more mobility, and you'll have a little bit more ways to escape if you necessarily need to. And, of course, if you're a dive comp, you'll have a lot of mobility, But you're an easier target to take down. You will be an easier target to take down, and this does mean that you will be much easier to overall just, get out of the game in some cases. But anyway, just remember that as a dive comp, your main job is to utilize your mobility between cover to cover and utilize that speed that you have. And then, of course, if you are a poke comp, don't forget to utilize your natural cover. This was like me making a bad decision not creating some cover to be used. But, it's the way it is. And then, of course, as a brawler, utilize all the natural cover that you can. Utilize your stationary and your sustainability, if you will. But, with that having been said, that's pretty much it for this video and pretty much it for everything. Hopefully this video has helped you at least to some degree understand your composition and maybe even get a better idea of where you stand as a player, whether it be a dive comp, a poke comp, or even just a brawler comp. And with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for being here and stopping by. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/FA_EYE or I. I am live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure. Wednesdays and Saturdays, I'm live for about 4 to 5 hours, sometimes a little bit longer. Thursdays, I'm usually live for about 2 to 3 hours, and Monday and Tuesday, I'm usually live for about 2 to 3 hours. But with that being said, thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And until the next one, everybody, this is FAI or I, signing out and saying, farewell, everyone.